Bob the Builder. Can we podcast this? Bob the Builder.
Yes, we can.
Welcome back to another episode of MB2 Underground. My name is Sarah Kiefer.
And I'm JT. I love it.
I told you right before this, I'm calling it audible. I'm going to do something different.
No, it's great. And it's very applicable or, applicable.
Applicable-ish.
I mean, no, it is.
Applicabish.
It is. I'm excited for our guest today.
Tell me why.
Because he is a builder of things that we're going to get into. So without... we have a lot of fun here. Without any further delay, I would like to introduce Dr. Bob Dokhanchi, or
Sure.
Dr. Bob D, who is a dentist and the founder of Dentistry in general. And he is an advocate for private practice and all sorts of things that we're going to get into. And so without any more delay, welcome, Dr. Bob.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thanks
Bob
for
is
coming.
fine too.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
When you started Dentistry in general, did you do it so that when people say you founded Dentistry in general, it sounded like, in general, you founded Dentistry? Because that's how I heard it when you just said that. Founded Dentistry in general, like as a concept.
That's pretty
I've never heard that one.
Well, you told us pre-show that you're marketing, like, hey, I'm a marketing guy.
Yeah, I mean, I have a addictive personality, and I get obsessed with things.
Okay.
Hyperfixator.
And right now, part of my job, I feel like, is to help dental companies fine-tune their message for dentists. And that fine-tuning that message is to try to tell them what is important to us.
Right.
And I consider some of my sponsors those dental companies, but I also consider the American Dental Association, do you like the segue? The American Dental Association as a dental company. So I want to fine-tune their message for them to get more membership. So that's basically, it wasn't what I intended it to be. This was a support group of a platform that I created. It was created 8 days after the pandemic shut down.
Okay. You just got bored?
No, I thought I was going bankrupt.
Oh,
and
even better motivator.
They closed my office, and I decided that at some point we're going to go back and I'm going to die if I don't have an N95 mask.
Right.
So I tried to get 50 people around my area to get together to force the big supply houses to sell us N95. I didn't know it was a global shortage. I thought it was just giving it to the big practices and us small guys. So that's how the whole thing came together as, we're the small guys, let's stick together. And now 5 years later, we're gone from 50 dentists in my area to 9,200 dentists. But I also want to tell you that it's I'm famous for having dentists only.
Yeah.
Like we're very strict about who comes in. And I think I actually asked Dr. Villanueva, Chris, for his proof of being a dentist. So,
oh my gosh.
So it has been a ride.
Yeah, that's an incredible growth story, especially in 5 years. I was going to ask, that was going to be one of my questions, which was what led you to starting the group? But I mean, clearly it was the pandemic. What's the group itself as it's grown from 50 to 9,200? What is something that you didn't expect to happen or come out of the creation of this group?
100% without thinking, I'm going to tell you the dental advocacy.
Okay.
Meaning that I had no intention of becoming involved in it. And about 3 years ago, 4 people from Massachusetts approached me and our friend, Dr. Paul Goodman, and they said, we need some help publicizing something.
Okay.
I didn't know what it was.
Right.
And it was called Question 2. It was a piece of legislation in Massachusetts that talks about basically simplifying it, that if you take $100 from a patient for premium you're supposed to spend 83 of it on patient care. And there are insurance companies that were in the low 50s.
Okay.
And the person was Dr. Morris Kalla and the president of Massachusetts Dental Society, Dr. Abe Abdul, and two of my friends, Jill and Christine, who had Alliance of Independent Dentists. And we started publicizing it for the ADA to take notice, and the ADA came in and contributed money to the advertising. And there were 30 of these pieces of legislation, I think, in Massachusetts, and 29, I think, and don't quote me on this, but I heard that 29 of them failed and one passed, and that was question 2.
Okay.
Wow.
By an overwhelming margin, I think 76%. And that triggered something inside of me that, we've all been lucky in dentistry and we need to give back. There are many nights that I talk to my friends, including Dr. Riskala, and he says, why are we doing this? And he talks about purpose, right? We have a purpose in life, and it seems like it all came together with that. So that is the surprise that I have, that if you would have asked me 5 years ago that I would be this involved in organized dentistry, I would tell you you're crazy, that you can't move a mountain. And sometimes it feels like I'm moving a mountain, unfortunately.
Well, you can't move a mountain if you don't try, right?
That's for sure.
Yes, but it's hard. It's hard getting, we call ourselves the giraffes.
Okay.
We stick our necks out.
I like that.
That
Okay?
is awesome.
So, we're trying to work with ADA officials. Unfortunately, some are working with us and some are not. Change is difficult for people who have done something for the past 50, 60, 70 years.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Our coalition has written 22 resolutions, never been done before by 2 delegates, 22 resolutions going in. And, it's something that they're not used to.
So what are some of the things you're advocating for currently?
So one of the biggest things is that the American Dental Association got into an agreement with insurance companies and the legislators in every state to do something that wasn't very much like what Question 2 did in Massachusetts. A year later, they actually passed a policy that contradicts that agreement. So now what we want them to do is to formally withdraw from it. This is a big thing at this House of Delegates. So that's one of them. The other things, for example, we have the Communication Council of the American Dental Association does not have that much power.
What is the Communication Council?
The Communication Council, there are multiple councils within the ADA
Okay.
that deal with different things, right? They do a lot of work for free. These are volunteers. Okay, they leave their practices that come to Chicago or even on Zoom, and they help different things. Okay, unfortunately, to me, the Communication Council should be in control of what goes out to the public. And now I'm not talking about the patient public. The ADA is mainly a dentist-facing organization.
Correct.
So when you put something out, and it's going to be about something that every dentist is going to look at and say, what? That's not me, right? They're not going to join the ADA. We're going to get our membership to go down. So we have written a resolution to empower the Communication Council. Everything that goes out doesn't go from a staff member. It has to be approved by them. So that's, a couple other things.
No, that makes a ton. I mean, that makes a ton of sense. Something, and I know Dr. V was on your podcast, and you guys talked a lot about how we operate and how we're, considerably different than a traditional DSO or traditional group. And it's because we've always stuck, and this has been Dr. V's his charge for us, which is this is for dentists by dentists. Like this, that's who we listen to. And it's always the doctors solving things together, and it's the support people supporting their decisions, which if you're going and you're communicating and I'm sending a message out telling the dentist, hey, here's what you guys are doing, or here's how you're being represented. And they're like, hang on, no.
Why am I listening to you?
Yeah. It's like, no, JT, you've got a finance degree, not you've
got a podcast to go do.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to get into your group because I don't have my dental license. So that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, again, as I said to Chris, people know what I stand for and what positions I take against private equity and healthcare and things like that. But MB2 is a problem for me. MB2 is an enigma. Yeah. When he sits there in front of me and tells me, Bob, we are from bottom-up organization. And I'm like, what does that mean? He goes, the doctors make every decision in the practices. I don't know how to explain that. I don't know how to define that. Yeah. Right? So I'm still thinking.
No.
Okay.
And, no, it's totally fair. I came from a background, I have a background in finance and a background in development and a background with private equity-backed companies. And when I got here, I'm asking all the same questions that I asked at the other because I know how the other ones work. And I will never forget Dr. V in my interview. He sat down and he's like, you're asking the wrong questions. He's like, we don't operate like that. And of course, you're sitting there and you're like, oh, CEO of the company, sure, whatever. I'll take it for what it's worth because I know some guys that work here and sure. And then I got in and I started looking around and the way the conversations happened and the way the decisions were made, I was like, oh, he's for real. Like, this is not your traditional, we're beholden to our masters, so to speak. It's, we flipped the script. Like the guys making the decisions are the docs. So it's I can see where it can be troubling in this hard puzzle to put together. Like, wait a second, this goes against everything that I've at least historically known. But,
right.
For sure. You talked a little bit about the genesis of dentistry in general being getting smaller groups together or smaller practices together to really bang down the doors and get what you guys need. What other challenges do you see for smaller practices and, technology or, and how do you see solutions for those? And that's probably pretty prevalent in how you got from,
so
5 to 9,200.
So a lot of people who know me that, one of the biggest jokes about Bob D is that he grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and anybody who was in the Bay Area in the 80s and was into computers became a billionaire. Bob became a dentist. Yeah. So I'm a really techie guy. I actually speak on cloud and cybersecurity around the country. I speak for.
I heard you're the cloud guy.
Yes, and. There are a lot of challenges. There are companies out there that take dentists hostage, their data hostage.
Absolutely.
There are companies out there that have imaging that doesn't have FDA clearance. And there are doctors who don't know and don't ask the question. So we have written a resolution. I'm not a delegate. I cannot present a resolution, but I have helped with our friends to write it. A resolution that talks about standardization of databases and standardization of imaging and how the American Dental Association would have a certificate, a voluntary certificate for companies that comply. And that's one thing that, we want to advocate for. And I think that they have something going, but I want it to be a little bit more comprehensive.
That's great. So being a tech guy, what's the next, what's the bleeding edge? What's the next big technological frontier in dentistry that you think? Maybe, I don't want to put that on you. Like, you tell us. No, what do you think?
But I have to tell you, people talk about AI, right?
All the time.
Yes. And it's a marketing term now. Like, everybody's using AI, right? When people talk about AI, they think about the Terminator, right? There is no such thing. That will never, ever, ever be created, in my opinion, right?
Why do you say that?
Because it's impossible. You can't get consciousness to the machine.
I did read something about that, though, recently, about how an AI something went against its
I read this too.
Yeah, it like was told to like turn off, and it was like no.
No. It heard it. It found out they were going to turn it off, and it embedded its code somewhere else.
Yeah.
I read that too. That's crazy.
But that
Sorry.
could be controlled by someone else.
True.
Fair. Right. That was a code written by someone probably I know. No. But what I'm saying is that AI is great. It's a tool, right? You used to have a dictionary, a spell check, right? That's what AI is, right? If you sit down and write a resolution with an AI, it's going to come out like it's a joke, right? So my rule for these AI things is that for every sentence that you want out, you better give it 3 sentences of instructions to get some. So, but you have to write. You have to be creative.
So I shouldn't use it to write my vows, huh?
No, not necessarily.
Sarah's getting married.
Just kidding. I'm not doing that. Brad, sorry.
But it's a great tool because as a dentist, when I am running around in the office, I'm in a hurry. They just fit another emergency into my schedule. I'm stressed. Somebody from Dentistry in general yelling at each other online. Although I have to referee that, right? And my hygienist is coming for me to come to do an exam. I always worried that I'm going to miss something. So I love the fact that when I walk in the room, they have the caries detection, quote unquote, AI on, so I can say, okay, I'm not missing something, even if I was in a little bit of a hurry, right? Now, there are companies that sell you this based on, you find a couple of cavities and you pay for it. I don't want that, right? That's ROI. We're doctors. We think about patients first, ROI second, right? So there are other companies that don't do it that way. And that's how I determine who can sponsor my group. My Facebook group.
That's cool. We ask that question to a lot of guests, and AI is always the thing. It's like,
it's not.
But no, that's always the answer that they give us, which is, everybody's entitled to their own opinions, but you provide a unique one. That's cool.
But I got to tell you what it is.
Okay.
And the next big thing in dentistry is going to be something that is already in every other industry, and dentists tooth and nail are fighting to avoid it, pun intended.
I love a pun.
Okay, and what is that?
And that is having a software that is cloud-based.
Okay.
We still have dentists out there that they think they can protect their data by taking it on a little USB thing in their pocket and go home.
They can't?
I mean, first of all, it's not HIPAA compliant. You shouldn't be doing that unless you're encrypting it, which I doubt anybody is, right?
Sure.
Every other industry, their software is on the cloud except dentists. We still want to do, no, that's cheap. You want to do that. So I believe the combination of the AI with the cloud, basically the software inside of the office, is the next big thing in dentistry, because now we can have the same AI integrate with this practice management software and do reporting for you and do making calls for you and things like that.
Do you think in the future there will be a push or a mandate to put all of the patient data in the cloud?
100%.
You do? Are you guys working on that right now?
100%. I am not working on it. However, what I can tell you is that 8 million records of patients last week was exposed on the dark web. There are office after office, dental office after dental office on the dark web that have information.
This might be dumb, but I thought the dark web wasn't real. Like, I thought it was just like, it's the dark web, like the bad part of the internet.
You only see 5% of it.
Yeah, there's like levels of the internet. I read a book one time.
Of darkness?
Yeah, I read a book one time that talked about quantum computing. That's something blows my mind still. But yeah, there's like levels of the internet. But the dark web's real.
No, I mean, the problem is you go in there. First of all, do not attempt going there. Okay?
To the dark web?
Yes.
How can you not, now that I know it's a thing?
No,
you can't just put an address in there. You have to get the tools to do it. But what I'm saying is that the point I'm trying to make is that there are offices out there that their information has been exposed. They know it's been exposed, but they're not reporting it.
Wow.
Part of the HIPAA privacy and security is also reporting. So if you get caught, which you will, hundreds of thousands of dollars of fines. So by going to cloud is not 100% safe, but trust me, I trust Amazon Web Services more than the Joe Sixpack dentist around the corner.
Sure.
Right. So those are the things that I think that's the next wave of technology. Unfortunately, it should have been here 10 years ago, but we're going to get there.
No, I think that's actually a really great answer.
Yeah, that's cool to think about. Before we wrap up, is there anything that we didn't get to that you wanted to touch on?
Yes.
Hit us.
2 things.
Okay.
Number one, I'm going to plug my event.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah,
It's
what
called
event?
Wait. Only if we're invited.
But we don't know what the event is yet, so we don't know that we want to go.
This is the opportunity. Like, it's only for dentists,
It's not
guys.
it's for dentists. It's called DIG-A-PALOOZA. Everything is dentistry in general, DIG branded.
Okay.
So it's DIG-A-PALOOZA. The reason it's called DIG-A-PALOOZA because number one, it's in the Chicago area, just like Lollapalooza.
Sweet.
It's a registered trademark, by the way. Thank you, Terry Farrell, for allowing us to trademark it. But it's also because I bring superstars of dentistry to lecture. So you can see which one. So I have Dr. Melkers, Dr. Volker, Sonia Chopra. I have
Quite the lineup.
Quinn Miller, and I have Ashley Clark for Oral Path this year. We work 14 to 18 months on each event.
Oh, wow.
So I'm already have the speakers for next year because people buy their tickets for next year at a discount at this
amazing.
event. So it's this November 7th and 8th, and I would appreciate if anyone wants, and people who like what we do, if they want to support us, they come to the event. It's not like a bad event. It's at a steakhouse and at Gibson's, and we have a concert the night before. 5 dentists, some from Texas actually, are part of the dentistry in general jazz ensemble.
Okay.
So we're going to have 5 people do that. That's one thing I want to say. But the next thing I want to tell you is that the American Dental Association, I criticize them on a daily basis. Okay. But without them, we will all disappear as a profession. So Chris and I talked about this. We need to have a voice in Washington, D.C. You need to be a member of the American Dental Association and not just write a check. You need to hold them accountable. You need to get involved and ask what happened. Why is this happening?
Be an active participant.
Absolutely. You don't necessarily have to attend. You don't have to volunteer, but call and ask. When they ask you to do something, do it, right? Support us. We have 22 resolutions. Call your delegates and tell them, hey, at least look at Bob's not mine, there are 3 of us, resolutions, and see Dr. Spencer Bloom and Dr. Steve Sachs of the 14th and the 8th. These are the people that helped me write all of these. Take a look at them. They all make sense. But you need to get involved. Do not overlook that membership letter that comes in that you have to contribute. It's $1,500 a year. Your Tesla payments are more than that. So I prefer people joining the ADA and help the advocacy.
Yeah.
That's the final thing.
Appreciate that.
That's awesome.
So yeah, DIG-A-PALOOZA and advocacy friends. Get involved.
And we'll add in the show description, we'll add a link. I assume
Dentistryingeneral.com has everything.
Perfect.
Dentistryingeneral.com.
So dentistryingeneral.com. Well, that Undergrounders, MB2 Undergrounders has, I guess we are concluding our last for this episode. Golly, wow, it's been a long day. With Dr. Bob D. We appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And
appreciate it.
look from a non-dentist, it's really incredibly cool to hear you talk with passion about advocacy and what you guys are working on.
Oh yeah.
It's exciting. Again, Dr. V allows us to be in a spot where we get to see the impact that it has on our partners. And so that's really cool. So thanks
you
for doing
very
what
much
you
for
do.
having me and your hospitality. This is awesome.
Cool. Well,
Appreciate
hey,
it.
we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.